welcome to another edition of the Film Geeks Podcast. This is Abhishek, and joining me, as always, are Arindam, Anirban, and Parjanya. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Awesome.
TikTok.
Amazing. So let's start with discussing what have you guys been watching. I'll start. I haven't been watching anything. Arindam, what have you been watching?
I just finished watching The Farewell. It's about the immigrant experience. I think I wasn't really expecting such a great performance from Aquafina. In whatever movies that I saw her in, she wasn't really impressive. She had that one trick of a sleep, but here she was completely different. I really liked Lulu Wang's direction was great. Some shots were truly something that I didn't expect. Especially going into an A24 movie, it felt like it wasn't one. It was quite traditional in that sense, but it had just the right intentions in place. I thought it was gloriously executed. So that was that. I also watched a couple of movies. I have just listed them here. Lost City of Z. This would on like if it was it tot- I think this movie exemplifies what the role of a producer is, because if this was maybe Joel Silver in the 90s, this would be The Mummy, but instead we got a very introspective look into South American explorer during the colonial ages. He uh, almost sort of befriends the local tribes over there, but also it was a neat little look and into what really went down there into those people when they charted unexplored territories. I think it was really well done. I read up on it, and it seems that the movie really sugar-coated whatever that guy did. He wasn't really a great explorer, and there's some controversy regarding that. But that, regardless, I think it was quite well done. Other than that, I watched Sorry to Bother You. It's one of the funniest political movies that I've seen in a while. It's directed by a guy called Boots Riley. This is his first movie, and it was polished as fuck. It's also a completely weird ass movie, but it isn't but it is like entertaining as always. Boots Riley also had a band with half the members of Rage Against the Machine, so he was always politically, charged. His stuff is quite well. You can check out all his works on YouTube. I think all of them are available. He has two or three bands, and all of them have like something political to do. So yeah. Other than that, I watched Shia LaBeouf's Honey Boy. This is a story that he wrote about his own experiences when he started out at Hollywood with his father. Um, it it is a tough movie to watch, especially knowing what you know about Shia LaBeouf. You gave him a hard time. You thought he was a weirdo, but this movie sort of explains why he is the way he is, and this is something that I really highly recommend. And last of all, there's a show on Hotstar that's streaming on Hotstar right now, starring Kerry Washington and Renee Zellweger. If this is like heavy drama, if you're into shows like This Is Us, etc., this show is one to watch out for. Uh, it's basically about how oblivious white people can be. Also, it tells you, it doesn't take sides, because I'm up to the seventh episode now, like seven have released, and this will only have one season. And I still can't figure out who I should root for. Most of the characters are absolutely unlikable. Both of the sides have you know where it's coming from exactly. You feel for their position, but you still can't take their sides because all of the characters are unlikable. This is something that Reese Witherspoon has been excelling in her roles, especially. I won't call it typecasting, but it is that type of role which irritates you, but you know that her heart is in the right place. So that is another show that I have been watching. Seven episodes are out, and the last couple of ones should be releasing every week. That's
I didn't catch the name of that show.
it's Little Fires Everywhere.
What's the name of the show?
Little Fires Everywhere. Yeah, that's it
Uh,
from my end. Anir.
So I have the what I was currently watching and just finished watching was Hasmukh. It just released on Netflix. It's got Veer Das in the titular role, and It's got a very interesting premise. It's the whole premise is that there's a comedian. He wants to be a stand-up comic, and he is shit because he just doesn't have the guts to do it. So, in order to, as they call it in the series, get some feel, he kills people. So he starts and then whenever he does that, he is able to perform. So it starts off with a good enough premise and concept that you know that this can go places. But somehow the show is sort of a letdown in a lot of ways. A lot of
Yeah, because
ways
it's
that it could have
Netflix.
been. Maybe the casting is
Fucking
very
Netflix sucks,
disappointing.
dude.
Well,
Every
and Netflix
single
India,
Indian content
Netflix
is
India, yeah, very
is
true.
is horrible. I mean, casting Vedas as this fucking character, a small town guy, like how is it going to work? I watched the trailer. He's so unconvincing in the trailer only,
No, no,
and they are
it
basing an
doesn't.
eight
So it
episode
doesn't.
show on that shit.
So hear me out. He doesn't strike you as somebody who's not from the small rural India. He doesn't. He plays that part
Yeah,
well enough. That's not the
yeah.
problem
He,
in this
and
case.
on top of that, he's not a good actor.
He is
He's
not
not
a
the
great
sort of
actor.
actor. He's not
Sure.
like no,
Sure.
he's not a decent actor anyway. I mean, he was the weakest part of Delhi Belly, I thought. And even
Think
in
about it.
like
He produced it, man. So he is going to star
yeah,
in it. No, it is a weird ass
not
production.
I don't think. I think Netflix India after signing a contract with him, I think they are like fuck because they have signed contracts with. I think these foreign people who just come and see the biggest and the brightest names, and they just
See,
throw money at their
I don't
faces.
think it works like that. I think there is a production office in India and a whole team out here in India who
No, no,
chooses the
because he was
content.
one of the first
Just
people to
that
have a
those people
contract with
who
Netflix, dude.
choose, I'm sure that the people who choose who are in India, they don't have they are the inexperienced. They don't have experience in choosing. I mean, before this, they might have been working for Z or whatever channel, and you know that out
I
there
think
also
no,
the
no, no, no.
content
I
is
think
not
I
that
think
great.
they have
you
multiple
misunderstand what I'm
deals
trying to
in
say.
place because
I'm
if
saying because these guys are signing, yeah, these people who are like horrid content creators, like fucking Red Chilies. Okay, Red Chilies hasn't made a decent film in I don't know how many years. Have they actually made one decent film, barring the first half of Om Shanti?
Swadesh,
So this is not Red Chilies.
it is not. Come on, it
No,
was him.
no, man, it was Ashutosh Gowadekar's production.
Oh yeah, my bad. That was a.
Swades has not, I mean, not Swades, what do you call this? Red Chilies has not made one decent film in their life. Vedas
Was Carl
sucks
Red
as a
Chili?
stand-up comedian. Huh?
Was Carl Red Chili? I think so.
What?
Carl.
Whatever, हो ही सकता है यार. I'll not be surprised
that's
if Carl
YRF
Red
actually.
Chilies ऐसा चुतिया चुतिया कंटेंट क्रिएटर लेके आएगा तो कहाँ से मिलेगा यार अच्छा कंटेंट तुम लोगों को in the sense that Vedas, I mean, has anyone seen the trailer? The trailer is enough to give you a headache. Like Ranveer Shori is there, who's completely wasted. Uh, and all of their Indian content, they just think putting dark and like we were talking about it last week also. कि थोड़ा dark बना दिया, गाली गलौज डाल दिया तो हो गया content. That's not how it works. They have the template of sacred games and anything anyone says will just be they throw that sacred games card at them. But the sacred games वाला problem यही है कि you had Anurag Kashyap, Vikramaditya Motwani, and Varun Grover behind that show. And Bhanchod, in this one, you have fucking what's this fellow's name? Uh, you have Veer Das.
Well, what happens is that they sign one. They don't sign on to one project. They have multiple ones. Like Jacqueline Fernandez, she was signed on to Race or Cars. What's that movie called?
Yeah,
One of the yeah.
race.
Yeah, so automatically she gets tagged on to this project with Manoj Vajpayee. Like that is why Radhika Apte became a meme essentially, because maybe she was one of the
Yeah,
first
Radhika Apte
actresses.
is there in the new film also. In that Mrs. Serial Killer also, she's there.
Yeah, I think she was the one with the purple hair, but I wasn't really sure because it was looking like her, but itna kam footage diya, so
Is it like
wasn't
the
really sure.
MCU kind of a thing where it's like, yeah, we signed you for 9 projects. तो अभी 9 प्रोजेक्ट में तुमको किधर ना किधर तो लुकेट देंगे.
That is exactly what they're doing.
And more to the point, nobody else is going to work with them. I mean, have you seen Jacqueline Fernandez act or not act, whatever you want to call it? So nobody else, not a serious movie maker, is not going to give her movies or anything. So
No, but
obviously,
she's there.
if you look at
She's there
Mrs.
in these
Serial Killer,
movies.
do you know who's making it, who's directing it? It's being
Yeah,
made
Shirish
by,
Kundar is making it.
yeah, his claim to fame is marrying Farah Khan.
Yeah. And
And it is being produced, bringing this entire conversation to a circle. It's produced by Red Chillies. तो क्या ही expect कर सकते हैं यार इनसे?
Is Shirish Kundar the reason why
Shahrukh Khan is
that
picking up like
Kangana Ranaut's sister is no longer on Twitter? Because she attacked the wrong Farah Khan, right? For similar reasons.
yeah.
Something like that
How
happened.
Also,
Oh my
yes,
God.
Hussein, do you have any thoughts on that?
Shirish
Hussein and
Kundar is
Parjanya.
no, Shirish Kundar is Farah Khan's husband, and Farah Khan is Sajid Khan's sister, and
Yeah.
Sajid Khan was Jacqueline Fernandez's ex-boyfriend. I just googled it, so I think we may have found the link, because that's why she was in like all those houseful movies and all that shit.
Fuck, that's why she's in this show, man. It makes no
Yeah.
sense why she should be.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
This is a show that's meant for Radhika Apte, I guess. She's the one to carry something like this. Like, she has the chops. Jacqueline Fernandez, pakka cut. She was looking so out of place over here.
Yeah.
I would disagree that even I don't think even Radhika Apte is very good here. What, like, I haven't seen her in one decent role barring that one in Lust Stories, I think, where she was.
Parched was good.
I don't know. I couldn't say that. Yeah, that failed by 20 minutes. I couldn't sit.
I think she was good in that one. The one that was based in Rajasthan and was very
Parched,
woman-centric and parched. Yeah, she was good in that one. But they didn't require her to do too much, of course.
Yeah, so I think it's more of the she gets a lot of attention, deservedly or undeservedly, because she is attached with such fantastic actors that they only carry their weight around her. That she doesn't have to do much. I mean, Last Story is the first part. She has to carry the entire short story by herself. So she was decent in it. Is she better than Jacqueline Fernandez? Like 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. She is definitely hands and feet ahead of Jacqueline Fernandez in when it comes to acting. But I'm not really sure whether this movie will work, because I'm not going to give a shit. I'm not going to watch this movie. I don't think I'm going to watch Hasmukh also, despite just going by the people who have made it, and the fact that everyone involved looks so out of place, and this premise is basically Dexter. Uh, I don't think I'm going to watch it. Yes, Hussein, what have you been watching, and what are your thoughts about this entire thing that we were talking about?
So I was watching. I'm on the final season of Wire, and it has been a long time since I've been watching the Wire because I keep safe distance. I just watched one season and I watched two other seasons of some other TV show. That's how I've been doing it, and I missed most part of the conversation, but I think it was about Mrs. Serial Killer, right? And Jacqueline Fernandez not being able to act.
No, we haven't even started on that.
So I would just repeat one of my jokes that I'd rather point my phone at a rock for 30 minutes and let it record. And I think that rock would have better acting than Jacqueline Fernandez or whatever. I just don't think that she can be called an actress. And coming to the trailer, it was total shit, like most of the Netflix India originals. I have not been watching any of the Netflix India originals. I guess after Sacred Games came out. So yeah, that's that.
And which is a shame
Parjanya,
because
what
of the
have you been
production
watching?
values, right? Sorry. Because of the production values that Netflix can give, you expect that a lot of shows can be much better.
I think
Like, it starts out well. There was one
I
show
think
that came out recently that was called Ye Ballet. And it is interesting enough, based on a true story. There's enough there for it to become mildly inspiring, inspirational, and all. But it just doesn't become. It evolves into whatever fuck all story and fuck all your character development and all, and it's the same case with most Netflix shows. So much production value and no content.
That
It's
is
I don't
because
shit.
think
I
I don't think
guess
India's content has a lot of production value attached to it at all.
I guess that's because
Have you
Netflix.
seen that Imran Hashmiwala show?
Nope.
You
That
were talking
Imran
about Bard
Hashmiwala
of
show?
Blood. Bard of Blood,
Yeah,
which
Bard
was
of
also
Blood. That,
red chilies, right? This was
yeah,
also
it is
red
also
chilies.
Red
Yeah, that
Chillies.
was also Red Chillies.
Yeah, it looks like dog shit, dude. That show, Family Man with a lower budget, looks a much better and a much well-rounded and a much better, uh, you know, film show than Bard of Blood, who had fucking Shah Rukh Khan attached to. So I
So
don't
that
think the production values are anything great at Netflix.
so
So
what
and
I
I also think that there is a formula of Netflix, be it the Marvel shows, be it their Indian content, be it their German content. The first two episodes is the setup. Then it's a lot of filler which you need or need not watch. Then the last two episodes, last three episodes will be where everything is happening. So if you watch Daredevil, Daredevil is the same. Despite Daredevil being awesome, I mean, beach में most of the time nothing really happens. Sacred Games is also more or less the same. What drives you through it are the performances. But most of the time there is literally nothing happening. Like I'm pretty Bard of Blood first two episodes, dimag kharab ho gaya because after that nothing happens in that show.
Netflix India is that they have collaborated with all of these shitty producers like Dharma and what was that?
Red Chillies.
Red Chilies and stuff like that. They can't even produce good films. What will they produce when the main requirement is a good story and a good screenplay? So I don't think that Netflix India would be able to produce good content unless they involve some good creators and involve some good writers. And I think India has a lot of good writers, but there's a niche for them, and I don't think that would be possible anytime soon for Netflix India.
You know what? I saw this video recently on the Indian comics industries. How in the 70s and 80s they were producing about 5 lakh comics per month, which just like blows my mind. So, and why there was a decline? Simply because there were multiple companies which popped up during that time. Because obviously, if 5 lakh prints like copies are being printed, there's money in the industry. And what these companies they did was that instead of focusing on the long-term plan, they made some very cheap stuff like to capitalize on what was in or what they thought that was in, and of course it didn't pay any dividends. And
Yeah.
imagine how bad that the condition is that Raj Comics was held as the standard bearer and the one which still survives to like till today, like based solely on plagiarism. That entire industry is like looking up to one company that doesn't have anything original with them. So I think Netflix is going a similar
But
route
Raj
because
Comics also doesn't print anything anymore, right?
No, it's just
it's on
rehashing most
demand,
of
I
its
think.
old stuff.
Yeah, and it's they just
It
like
just
on
sells
demand
most
based.
of its. Like if you go online, you can buy a lot of its old prints for $2, ₹2, ₹8. That's the kind of stuff that you get. There's no new content being made. Even if you call the office, which I have done in the past, nobody even picks up, bothers picking up the phone. There's nobody there. I don't
And
know
there's some issue
what
with delusions of grandeur as well, right? Because Anurag
there
Kashyap
is.
like gave up on them. The some of the interviews which are there online are like baffling as to what they
So
actually think
you
that they
you
can
you
achieve.
did see
On
that.
the Doga thing.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
not just
Doga.
Toga. So what they did was that whole thing was in works, and I was really excited for it because
Hmm.
I thought that I really liked Doga as a character. It was Indianized very beautifully. It was the Indian Punisher, but whatever. It was Indianized very beautifully. I was a big fan. It's a big part of my childhood. Anyway, so the thing is that they produce a lot of actors to it. They production started and all that, and just died midway because nothing happened. And then you start following the
Behind
Raj
the scenes.
Comics things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you see that there is a lot of trouble. Like Raj Comics doesn't know what it wants. I mean, they literally, I think they created a studio which is called RC Motion Pictures
Yeah.
just to make some of these, and they release. on they released a very shitty like not even pilot. It was a test screener for Super Commander Trove. They released one for Nagraj. It was just an animation, like 15-second animation of snakes just moving around like sperms on the screen, man. It just was so fucking weird. And then you had a few things that they wanted to do, but they released another animation on Doga, and none of this. These are like 3-4 years back, okay,
These
and
are
they're
just
like
trailers,
new
yeah.
pilot.
That's
Yeah,
what they do.
and they are not even trailers to speak of. Okay, they're just screeners, pilot, just for
Yeah,
probably
like
Just
pitching it
saying.
to other studios, right?
Viral
Okay.
marketing kind of thing.
Yeah.
correct.
So and yeah, none of this actually will materialize because once you see the project, you know that even the actors attached to them, there's no money to be made here. There's nothing. I mean, you're trying to attract an audience that actually doesn't know about these characters anymore.
Hmm.
I mean, it's
From
apart from 90s kids, 80s kids,
uh,
not many people know about
yeah, you're
them.
not creating any like new audience, which is what
Yeah.
will sustain the industry in the main case. From the
Exactly.
comments, Sneharto asks that with Netflix out of the question, who's doing it better between Prime and Hotstar in terms of
We'll get
original
into that
content?
later. Let's ask Parjanya what has he been
Yeah,
watching
sure.
and what are his
Oh,
entire thoughts on the Netflix thing.
Yeah,
uh, so I finished watching season 5 of The Wire. Uh,
finally.
yeah, finally. It's I still maintain that season 2 and season 4 were my favorites. The one with the dock workers and the
Yeah,
one with the school kids, the initial part of the school kids. Um, uh, so to kind of balance out the sort of heaviness and darkness of The Wire, I've started rewatching that 70s show. So I'm on season 5 now, for like whatever the 19th time or something. I also started watching Big Little Lies, which was something that was recommended to me. Which is it's a bit slow, but I mean, the first episode had me hooked. Like it started a bit slow, but it was good. Um,
It's an excellent
Another
show, man.
thing,
Just the cast
yeah,
is like so
yeah,
good.
I know the cast. I was like, what? This she's also there, and she's also there, and like also, another thing that I watched was this movie from 2008. I don't know if you watched it, called Be Kind Rewind.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Michel Gondry, man. Jack
yeah,
Black.
yeah, yeah. I really like that movie. Uh, it was a really nice, like, fun, light movie to watch. And for some reason, I don't know. I started watching season 1 of the Beyblade anime because it's so stupid, because it's so dumb, because it's just kids playing with tops, but also it's like कि ये अमेरिकन है, ये चाइनीज है, ये जापानीज है, ये रशियन है, और सब एक साथ आके एक टीम बन के खेलते हैं. And now I'm watching it in English because otherwise I was watching it in Hindi on TV. So
You can
it's,
you can look at Abhishek's face and you know what the
yeah,
whole
I'm,
okay boomer thing now, okay boomer meme. It makes sense
complete.
if you look at his face right now.
He
He's like,
backed away.
what
He
the fuck
backed
are these
away.
people?
ऐसा
What the
ऐसा हो
fuck are
गया.
these people talking about? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'm also in that group by the way. I have no interest in Beyblade. I think it was
it.
just a
I have no
marketing
interest in
gimmick
anime.
around a
I just
product.
don't
Oh
care
yeah,
about
hundred
animism.
percent, 100%. Like if you had to, like now we talk about like all these comic books and all, and we talk about how Secret Wars, the original one, was just or Secret Wars Contest of Champions. These were just books to try and sell the toys. That's exactly what Beyblade was, because you have to
Right,
sell
right.
tops. How else do you sell tops to kids? You make a cartoon around it and you show that ये top में dragon है. That's it. Like nobody else. Don't, otherwise, people aren't going to buy top. And
To, to
especially
be
in
No,
like
to be
India.
fair, it is a big sport in Japan. Okay,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah,
before the whole anime craze.
yeah,
It
yeah,
is just something that old people actually do. They make this Beyblades out of their hands, and this
yeah,
is something that you have a platform for. You know, this is actually something that happens. But
yeah,
the whole anime craze is, yeah, it's something that Japanese do, and you know. But the whole
yeah,
thing actually, yeah, is a marketing gimmick because they built a company out of it and they sold products, a lot of products. If you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to
Lot
talk
of,
about
they're still
anime,
selling.
yeah, I think if you want to talk about anime, we should be talking not about this, but we should be talking about Mortal Kombat that just released, and
Yet to watch it.
that
Even I haven't watched it.
Oh my! I watched it 2 days ago. Yeah, I think Abhishek, have you seen it?
Like the thing about Bebe, like if you talk about like India, right? Even in India, we have like like in the when we were kids, we had those tops with the rope. You tie the string around it, and that's literally what the older Japanese toy was. That on which they made the Beyblade. It's the same thing. It's just that in India,
Lattu.
you could not pitch it to a larger audience. In India, when it came, it was just this like sort of urban the Cartoon Network wala audience, and most of the people in India were not really. I mean, it didn't appeal to them that much.
It's
So
a
and
Lattu game.
Lattu, exactly. That's what it was. But then you put a little sticker on it, and you jazz it up and you sell it, and people are buying it.
It's
So
a
I
buying
mean,
game. More
yeah,
importantly,
I bought it. I went and bought it from my corner store, and I thought it was something fancy, like kuch. Then I played with it, and I'm like, ये कुछ नहीं है. ये ऐसे ही घूमता है बस. Like there's nothing else to it, and plus there was nobody else to play. So मम्मी का कढ़ाई घिस घिस के खराब कर दिया. Like like that's the other. But now going back and watching the anime, there's a little bit more to it than just the top. But I mean, still a shitty anime. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, Westworld. Westworld is pretty damn good.
Westworld, I think the pacing, especially for this season, is like off the charts. I think this is like the
Yeah.
fastest paced, right?
Yes, definitely.
Because
Season one
all
was
of
so slow.
yeah, man, season one, even season two was like dreadfully like it was interesting, but it was slow. Over here, like every episode, में कुछ ना कुछ एकदम
कुछ
hard
ना
हो
कुछ.
ही रहा है.
हाँ.
I've
Is the
really been
showrunner
enjoying.
different? Is it the same? I'm not seen this thing.
Yeah, it's the same. Lisa Joy and Jonathan were like hundreds of millions दिया रे दोनों को. Just like stick
and
around and make that. I think
my
that's going
God,
really
are they
well.
justifying the whole thing, man? Are they justifying the whole thing? It's
I
just so
think they are
beautiful.
because the problem is that Westworld, HBO, what they thought was that this would be like, the next Game of Thrones and whatever.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
But it didn't really catch up with the audience just because it is so dense to get into. Like, बहुत difficult है ये show for like anyone who's like watching Game of Thrones is coming out. इसमें tits and wine होगा. That is not the show. You need to invest like heavily into this. And they're pulling stuff that season one से जिसका storyline चल रहा है, it just doesn't wrap up at the season finale. अभी भी वो
हाँ,
continuous arc अभी है. So
yeah.
this is like Game of Thrones has these mini arcs. So people they really need to invest in this show. That's why I think once it's done and people get to binge on their own like time, I think this show will get a much larger audience compared to what it is now. I
And
this yeah.
no, but
The weird thing is that it is not cracking 1 million viewers, which is very fearful for HBO. And even though they are pumping like all the money in the world because this show looks gorgeous, I mean, it has way better CGI than you see in most movies. They're spending time, they're doing everything, but public नहीं देख रही है इसको.
I mean, the problem is very plain and simple. It's just that it not only takes a lot of time investment, but it also requires rewatching for you to actually understand. Like I remember us when we were discussing the first season, we said that all of us we have to go back and rewatch it because there are some elements of it which otherwise would not have made the same kind of sense to us. There were a lot of there's so many Easter eggs, so many callbacks, so many little things that
Right.
are teased that you have to dedicate more time to this. When you say more time, you might have to rewatch it or you have to watch it really intently, which is what most people don't want to do. Most people just want to watch a CD show and just be done with it. And this is not something that's happening right now. And it's not their fault. It's a beautiful show, and most people are just not built that way. And there's nothing you can do about
and I think there are two things here, right? One is if you compare it to like other the sort of HBO banner shows, right? Like The Wire or Game of Thrones. Those themes, like Anu said, those themes are easier to understand. Like historical kind of themes or
Yeah.
more. The most complicated thing in Game of Thrones is the storyline itself. Like कौन किधर से आता है, क्या है, the world building,
Family
all
tree. Yeah.
yeah, all of that stuff, right? In The Wire, it's the most complicated thing is
Bureaucracy,
again
right?
yeah, the bureaucracy, trying to
Yeah.
keep track of who is where and who is doing what and what is going on, kaun sa unit and all that. In Westworld, the entire theme of this whole consciousness and robot and AI and that kind of a thing, it's fascinating, but it's difficult to kind of understand on in one watch. It's even difficult to understand on second watches. In I When I started before I watched season three, I went on YouTube and I just watched like a timeline
I
recap,
had to
and it,
uh, I had to
yeah,
do cram it because there was stuff that I
yeah.
simply didn't remember.
And when I watched the timeline, I'm like, fuck, I didn't even realize that this timeline was this complicated with William and like all of that thing. ये पहले हुआ था, ये बाद में हुआ है. I had to now even I'm a little bit like, yeah, when is this exactly, like this is happening later, but इसका connection exactly किधर से आता है, it's difficult, right? And
Also,
the
to further
second thing is,
complicate things, this season had a certain event take place in which it takes place inside, completely inside the mind of a computer.
yeah,
So you don't really know
yeah, yeah,
where the actual Westworld begins and where the virtual
exactly,
Westworld ends. So
yeah,
that was still confused. Like I
yeah,
need help from a third class party to
yeah,
make sense of it. बहुत dense है. Like if
yeah.
somebody just says I get everything about the show, I won't believe that person.
Yeah, yeah. No, like, and as a philosophy student, as a philosopher in training, I can attest that this is one of the most philosophically heavy shows. Not in the terms of like what it makes you think, but in terms of what it says and just the content in itself, like the themes that it is talking about. And the second thing is that the structure of the show, right, or the way that it is written and the way that it is produced doesn't seem to be sort of behold itself to the season kind of the sort of acts, right? It, instead of each of the season having a first, second, third act of its own, it seems like these three seasons are different acts altogether. Is the structure of the show, the way that it is written is not. I mean, maybe it's not good for one season. Like, so it's better to sort of binge these completely, because the cliffhangers, yes, the cliffhangers kind of work like the Game of Thrones cliffhangers, but the themes are very different. In the At least in the third season has nothing to do with Westworld anymore. Westworld ho gaya. Yeah, this could be an entirely different show at this point. That is sort of a spin-off. It has nothing to do with Westworld. Westworld is done.
It's closer to Black Mirror than to Westworld, right?
Yeah, yeah. Black Mirror is the only like kind of weird philosophical thing that I can understand, where people are like, "Yeah, what is happening here? I need to kind of understand." Which didn't happen with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was just like, what the fuck happened? I need to kind of just un- I need to settle down and just let this sink in. This इधर ये sink in ही नहीं हो रहा है because समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या. That's the basic idea with Westworld.
There's also uh, yeah. So this is it. Like this is the only show that you've been watching it.
Current, yes. Westworld and Big Little Lies is I've started.
He's watching
Yeah.
enough, man. He's watching Beyblade also.
आप बेबलेट भी देख रहे हो यार, कितना देख रहे हो, पुराना
इतना
पुराना देख
टाइम
रहे
मेरे पास तो नहीं है. I don't know how this guy is finding so much time.
हो.
Hussein,
नहीं
what
यार,
about?
समझता है.
बोलो.
So I watched a season of Kidding, the first season of Kidding, and I thought it was pretty great. And it is directed by Mitchell Gondry, the man who made it's which movie was that? Eternal Sunshine of the Beautiful. And it is about this Fred Rogers type of character that Jim Carrey plays. It's called Jeff Pickles in this show, and it shows that he's a depressed man in real life, and he's completely different from what the persona he plays on screen. And it's very interesting and kind of heartbreaking, because it is very relatable as well, because sometimes people have an emotional disbalance कि मतलब मुझे अब दूसरों को क्या दिखाना है और खुद में क्या हूँ. So I think that excels in that area. And also the soundtrack of the show is damn good. After watching the first season, I felt really heavy, and I and I watched a couple of comedy movies to lighten it down. So that's that's that. Have you watched any of you watched Kidding?
Kidding, yeah. I was watching it. I watched it weekly from like season one itself, just because Jim Carrey is doing a show with Michel Gondry. It's like just something that I have to watch. Today, Parjanya also made a post in which I made a reference to the show, as to like when he was making Eternal Sunshine, Michel Gondry asked him like to remain that broken person, which I don't really believe that that was the intention, considering the stuff that Michel Gondry makes. So there's definitely that, but the problem with not the problem, like Kidding is a show that I don't think any show is this creative right now that we are currently watching. I mean, are you done with season two, Hussein?
No, no. I was watching this final season of The Wire. I'll be done with it today, and I'll
Okay.
watch season 2 from maybe tomorrow or Monday
So
of
basically,
Kidding.
this guy is like a very weird version of Mr. Rogers. Okay, there's an
Yeah.
episode in which uh, he clashes with his family. His father is like doesn't want him to do darker stuff. He wants to do an episode on death in which he explains death to kids, because in the pilot we know that he has lost one of his twin kids in an accident,
Yes.
and he just can't process it. So that entire show is about him processing grief. So in
This is in season 1.
this in season one. In
Yeah.
season two, there's an episode in which, like, we see his false, like, fake show, right? There's an
Yeah.
episode on divorce in which we see that episode of what the regular people they see, and it's entirely using puppets, etc. They explain the concept of divorce. It's like so creative. It's directed by Michel Gondry. Again, it utilizes the stop motion, everything that he has in his bag of tricks. So, and it will leave like you'll definitely feel something when you go through it. It's streaming on Hotstar right now. Two seasons are out. Uh, Hussain, it's interesting. We were talking about Shirish Kundar a moment ago, and you had some thoughts on like celebrities and their function in and like their influences on our day-to-day life. So, like, tell us about that.
I think that we as Indians, we are born, or it is in our genes to just worship these celebrities and whatever shit they bring on to us, and whatever shitty mentality they have. And it has been evident for the past few years on Twitter. And a few, considering the biggest news in India these days is Rangoli's Chandel's account on Twitter was suspended, and that woman, I have no words. She may be mentally sick, um, because the amount of shit that she says, कुछ भी मतलब इधर उधर किसी को भी कोई कुछ देखती नहीं है, कोई कुछ बोलता कैसे नहीं है, ये समझ में नहीं आता मुझे.
It's not that she's the only one who does that.
Yeah.
My question
Ev-
always remains, like who the hell is this woman, and why are people even giving her
Listening
that
to her,
importance?
right?
Yeah, I mean, people listen to Rakhi Sawant also, but they don't give her the same kind of importance. You understand? They treat Rakhi Sawant like a comedian now, actually like a comedian, and but with some celebrities or for celebrities, you can't tell. I mean, what is Rangoli Chandel's claim to fame? That she is Kangana Ranaut's sister. That's it.
Yes, literally, you Google it and when you Google Rangoli Chandel, it says Rangoli Chandel, Kangna Ranaut's sister. If you go on her Wikipedia page, it's literally that. But the
and
point
I
is that
also
she
think that
does.
she's not even educated. I don't think that she is even 12th pass, because the amount, because even you the way she types, it feels like कोई जाहिल लिख रहा है उसको. तो मतलब अलग ही लेवल का. आई एम नॉट ऑन ट्विटर, एंड आई हैव बीन फॉलोइंग whatever shit she was typing and whatever she was saying. And it's completely disastrous, because there are a lot of people who follow her. And considering the people that follow her, अगर वो किसी की mentality affect कर रही है, so it's really problematic. The hate spreading and hate mongering, it's continuous, constant, 24/7 in this country.
I think she is a xenophobe, right? She is
Yeah,
She
actually
is
xenophobe.
definitely some sort of paid political agent, man. Because
yeah.
she
That
is
is
the
my
only other
personal
person I
theory.
can
That is
compare her
that.
to is what's the Tashkent Files wala guy?
Also,
Agnihotri. Vivek Agnihotri.
oh, I see.
Vivek
Uh,
Agnihotri is pretty much the same thing.
What
guys,
about Amitabh Bachchan? Amitabh Bachchan is
Amitabh Bachchan सठिया गए.
like some of the
बिल्कुल गए.
stuff that he is mentioning recently, I don't think a sane person like this guy is recently going, going insane in this quarantine. Just look at the
Yeah,
stuff that he's tweeting, man. This like
yeah,
it's unreal.
I
yeah.
think he's one of he's not unlike any of those WhatsApp uncle and aunties
Exactly.
who get conspiracy theories on those IT cell WhatsApp messages, and they believe
He's
on them and
he's
they
really
pass it
old.
on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really fucking old.
अभिषेक बच्चन should be like, आओ पापा मेरे को घर पे बैठने की आदत है, आप आ जाओ, मैं सिखाता हूँ आपको क्या करते हैं.
So Abhishek bhai, we were talking about Rangoli Chandel. Do you have anything to add?
Nothing. Nothing. Have you guys covered Extraction?
No.
No, not yet.
Let's talk about Extraction.
I'll go.
Yeah, go.
I think I'm the only one who has very positive things to say about this. So,
Yeah,
see,
why wouldn't you have positive things to say when there is a guy who is attached to it who is unproven, a first-time director? It's produced by one of the Russos, not even both the Russos, and it has David Harbour, who has no great track record. Pankaj Tripathi, which is his first Hollywood. I don't know what extent would he be a part of this movie. Randeep Huda, who is
one
obviously
scene max.
Mae Fasterson, and someone called Derek Luke. And it of course stars Chris Hemsworth, who is a fantastic actor, by the way, who has not given one solo hit. And every movie which he has carried on his back have like gone off like a ball of flames. So, and it is obviously a Netflix original, and we were talking about how great Netflix originals are. It is just a cheap Michael Bay movie, dude.
What if they pull off a John Wick? What if they pull off the John Wick?
Have you seen the trailer?
Of course, I have seen the trailer. That doesn't matter.
How can you
No,
even say that they will pull off a John Wick? Looking at
I mean,
that
we
trailer.
know for a fact, okay, that trailers, not all the time.
I have nothing great to say.
That's fine. I don't
I
have
have nothing
strong.
great to say. So let's talk about let's put it to someone who actually is looking forward to this. Arindam, what are your thoughts?
Okay, you have to acknowledge the fact that Sam Hargrave, the director, he considers Bangladesh as India's Mexico, and it has a yellow filter in all the scenes. That Mexico filter pura hai. So that gives me a little hope कि हाँ this guy is aware, self-aware है इतना उसको. Other than that, uh, he's one of the best stuntmen like working in Hollywood. I have been following this guy's Instagram for the past 3-4 years, and he just does some terrific stuff. He puts all the stunts online. Like बहुत साल के बाद, he's probably getting the permission to put them up. He does that on a daily basis. Also, the extraction was called Dhaka, which I thought was a cooler title, by the way. But they changed it to Extraction, quite generic, which I hope the movie isn't, because he was in the same team as Chad Stahelski and the other guy who directed the first John Wick movie. uh, if you see what they're going for, like the back to the BTS shots that they release, everything they're relying heavily on the action, and I think that is if it is done well, and even if the story is sparse, it doesn't really matter. We've seen that time and time again, maybe in movies like The Raid Redemption, because when a stunt guy now we know that when a stunt guy makes a movie, even if the story isn't like rock solid in like in John Wick 3 or even The Night Comes for Us, just the action can carry the movie on the back of its shoulder. And what we've seen so far, I think it has potential. Uh, it has the humor with the Russos also behind it. They have some great. I don't know if you'll acknowledge this or not, but these guys know how to punch in the comedy at the right places. or the wrong places. That depends on how much you enjoy Infinity War and the Marvel, you know. But that also isn't really their fault. They haven't written those movies. There are two other guys who have also wrote the Thor movies and the Captain America movies, who are doing the punching, all that stuff. So they have the producers. They have granted Chris Hemsworth hasn't given us a hit in years. Same could be said of Keanu Reeves before John Wick. He just does. He maybe did 3 or 4 great movies. Then there was a slack period, and then he did something great. Then there was a slack period, something like that. So I'm hoping that this
let me
Chris
let me
Hemsworth
let me
first movie.
before you besmirch the name of Keanu Reeves, let me just point this out to you. Keanu Reeves did Point Break, then he did Speed, then he changed the world with Matrix, and then he did John Wick.
Yeah,
Okay,
and just
so he
yeah,
was
go
a
to IMDb
bankable
and see
action
what.
star.
Go,
The
okay,
point
Hold
is, he was a
on.
the
bankable.
thing was
Let
Keanu
me
Reeves was
finish.
a
Let me.
joke.
He
We
Fuck
he
were
you.
is
You.
we
he's
belong
the
from an
best
era.
worst actor out there. He's the best
We
worst
belong to
actor.
an era where we remember that Keanu Reeves was made fun of. He was a boy toy. Nobody respected him. This Keanu Reeves. People made fun of him after the Matrix came out also. He was lit. Everyone said that he was the worst part in the Matrix. Like
That
he
is.
was a meme.
Hold on. You are just changing goalposts. That is not what I'm saying. Or what I'm saying is, he is a bankable action star.
Yeah, so Chris
Even when he
Hemsworth is
did movies
also a
like, hold on,
bankable action star.
how is he a bankable action star when every movie that is not named Thor or Avengers has flopped?
No, you can't see that is changing
Action,
goalposts
huh?
again.
Which action movie?
There's a fourth Thor movie coming out. How many Superman movies are there?
Hey,
Dude,
wasn't he there
That's
in
not a good analogy, man.
12 Strong? Wasn't he there in 12 Strong also?
Yeah, he was in Rush.
He was in Rush. Rush was amazing, man.
I'm
Like,
talking about, is he a bankable? Is he a guy like, say, fucking Vin Diesel? Can he carry a franchise?
Does he have
he is
the
carrying a franchise.
career
He
mileage
is not
that
carrying a
Keanu
franchise.
Reeves has? Come on.
What?
He doesn't have the career mileage that Keanu Reeves has. Keanu Reeves has had a career forever.
Huh,
Vin
Exactly.
Simpson
So
because he
doesn't,
he's
has been in
but
projects
that
that
doesn't
mattered.
mean.
See, Keanu Reeves did not carry Point Break. It had
Yeah,
Catherine Bigelow, it has a rock solid script, and also it had Patrick fucking Swayze. The Matrix, Keanu Reeves did not carry the Matrix. Keanu Reeves did not carry Bill and Ted. Keanu Reeves does
Devil's
not carry.
Advocate.
Ja- uh, J- John Wick also, he's not the one who's carrying it. The action, the
what are you
cinematography, and
talking
everything.
about?
He's not the one who's carrying the movie.
Dog is the one who's carrying the movie. Okay.
John Wick, like he is replaceable in that movie, man. If we
It is, you cannot replace Keanu Reeves in any of these films.
no, the
He
action
is
is what
that,
sells the movie. Otherwise,
but
otherwise even Atomic Blonde would work, right? It did not. The
because
makers, the
Atomic Blonde
filmmakers are behind it.
no, Atomic Blonde wouldn't have worked because they marketed it as a female John Wick, but it was not. It was a spy movie. The entire fault of Atomic Blonde not working is they marketed it as a female John Wick because it was the co-director of the first part of John Wick, and the entire trailer was so action heavy. We reviewed it. I mean, we reviewed the trailer back in the day, and all of us thought it was a fucking female John Wick. When we watched the movie, it was like Days of the Condor. So the action in Atomic Blonde is fucking great, and it's the Sam Hargrave fellow only who has choreographed it. All I'm saying is neither does this guy have the chops, neither nor he. I don't know. I don't have any faith in Chris Hemsworth because
No, I'm just saying that. See, I enjoy Keanu Reeves, but calling him a great actor
I'm
is
not saying that he's a great actor. All I'm
yeah,
saying, you are the one who brought it up. You were saying
yeah. He has been in
Keanu
great
Reeves.
movies. That doesn't mean that he's carrying it.
He is the
Sudeep in the
okay.
comments mentioned that
Take yourself.
Keanu Reeves carried the fucking Matrix. He did
hold
not, man.
on. Your brothers are stuck on the
Hussein
same
just
topic
flexing
here.
the slogan on his T-shirt right now.
Like
Very
one
legit.
of you is like, हाँ ठीक है दोनों का बात aside, like we get it. One of you wants to watch it really badly. One of you can't be bothered. Okay,
No.
I'll watch it when
Hold
it
on.
comes out because
Before 19, take yourself back to the year 1999. Barring Keanu Reeves, who did you know about the Matrix, or what did you know about the Matrix? He carried that film, dude.
I
It's just
disagree. I think the
only
special effects did. Nobody saw special effects like that. Saab aake, what was
everyone thought
everybody doing? Everyone was
it's
bending
the
backwards.
guy
A
from
bullet aisa
Speed.
aisa jata hai,
It's the
right?
guy from Speed. You were 5 years old. Shut the fuck up. It was the guy from Speed.
No, I don't. I completely disagree that Keanu Reeves was the one who carried
He
it.
had
It
been
had all
out
the
of sight,
philosophy
out
पूरा
of mind
था.
for a long time, man. Abhishek, to be honest, he was out of sight, out of mind for a very long
for a
time.
while. For
He
a while.
hadn't given
Yeah,
us a
like
good
कितना
action movie in
95,
a long
96
time.
में speed है, right? No, I
Yeah,
think longer than that. There was a 5 year gap. That's what, if you see
at
his,
least.
see, we are naming 5 Keanu Reeves movie. I take it like he made some of the most legendary movies. But the problem is middle का जो gap में ना, he made some of the most terrible movies. Remember he was
He
in
made
that time traveling
Avenger.
thing with
Matrix 2
Sandra
and
Bullock.
3.
हाँ यार, Matrix.
Uh,
But
then he
still,
made
those movies
something.
were again like these were Matrix movies.
Actually, I didn't hate The Devil's Advocate that much.
Yeah, I like Devil's Advocate. It's one of my favorite
Devil's
Keanu Reeves
Advocate is
movies.
fucking awesome.
But
It's a
it's
great
not,
movie.
again,
It's
it's
an
not a
action
Keanu
movie.
Reeves movie, right? Al Pacino helps me. It's
See, the
That's
thing
what,
is,
like, he's in
we
great
can't
movies,
get into that.
Like Chris Hemsworth, he is in good movies, जिसकी वजह से थोड़ा थोड़ा आ जा रहा है. He has been lucky that he has chosen really good projects, but to say that he's the one who's carrying it, I think does disservice to the filmmakers.
I think okay, never mind. We can do this forever, but yeah. What are the rest of you? What do the rest of you guys, rest of the panel think about Extraction? Parjanya, let's start with you.
Uh, the trailer was alright. I mean, it was. I'll watch it definitely, but nothing. I don't have any like remarks here or there. I didn't hate it. I didn't really like it. That like didn't really think it was that great. I'm not that much of a technical person to like look into like stunts and all of that kind of thing. Uh, I yeah, I that's where I'll leave it. I'll probably when the next podcast after it comes out, we could talk about it.
My problem with this purely is because uh, 12 Strong just came out a few weeks ago and
Mm.
I hadn't watched it then. The thing is, I saw the trailer for this and I got confused between the two movies. That's how,
Yeah,
it's not like they are the same thing, but I got confused. And I'm like, Extraction, हाँ, ये तो आ गया था 2-3 हफ्ते पहले. Why is it out again? And why is it coming soon again? Did they remove it and do something? Then I realized, no, it is not. It is kind of two different movies. I watched it and now because of that thing that happened, now when I look at the trailer and the movie, I don't feel like it will have too much. I mean, it'll not have anything different to offer. For me, it's the same thing. I'm not. There has to be some USP, and I don't think apart from Pankaj Tripathi and Bangladesh, there's not much USP that I'm banking on. I don't think having a stunt director is something that I will call a big
Great.
payoff, something that pays off all the time. I mean, we have seen that in the past, and now that it's a solid gimmick now that people are
Yeah.
going to do this, and that is not something that you can guarantee. Obviously, the action is going to be good, but then it's just that I don't want to see just a movie with good action because we have plenty of those. We have plenty of those that we can go back and watch, and I'm not going to waste my time on a movie that just I'm going to watch because it has Pankaj Tripathi and Bangladesh in it. Stunt तो हो जाएगा, चलो. But my thing is, my sense is, I am not going to bother until and unless I'm really fucking drunk on a Saturday night
It
or a
seems
Sunday
it
Or if
night.
it has good reviews.
it kind of looks like Man
Probably,
on
Arindam,
Fire
you're right.
directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I
It looks
think
like Man on Fire directed by Michael Bay.
Man on Fire
Does
is
that make
almost a
sense?
Michael Bay movie because Tony Scott does everything, every editing,
Yeah,
jitna bhi, he
I
just
know.
throws
Yeah,
it at
but
the screen.
Michael Scott is what Michael Scott is basically Tony Scott if Michael Bay did not suck. Tony Scott is you can't
Tony Scott
compare
is the
the
best,
ability of
man.
making.
Tony Scott
Michael
is
Scott
Tony
किधर
Scott
से
amazing.
is
आया?
yeah. I'm sorry,
Michael Scott किधर से आया?
Michael Scott
You said Michael Scott like
because
thrice.
yeah because
He was making an analogy with दोनों को compare कर रहा था.
Uh,
But
so
hey, have
basically
you guys
Tony
watched
Scott
600
yeah
km by the way?
it definitely looks like a
Anyone has?
yeah unfiltered Michael Bay.
I don't think any movie I can describe it as mean, but that movie is mean, man. It doesn't care about pedestrians. It doesn't care about anyone. It just
I
kills
think
people.
Watchmen is pretty mean.
Watchmen, ठीक है, but this is like
In
Unashamed.
fact, I really, because I was like a teenage edgelord once upon a time. I really loved the first Snyder movie, which is the Dawn of the Dead. I know what you're thinking. Fuck you, but I know, I really liked the first Dawn of the Dead, and I think I still enjoy it. It's just that now, because I've been exposed to so much of media over the years, over the past 15 odd years, I don't think I can enjoy it as much as I did the first time, because of his political views and because of what he believes in life, believes in his own life. It comes across on the screen. So I think inherently everything which Snyder makes is inherently very mean spirited. But yeah, I agree. This movie is a movie made by an asshole for complete assholes. So if you are an asshole, then you'll probably enjoy 600.
Yeah, Hussein, your opinion on assholes, by the way, on Extraction.
I think it will be a gamble for me if I just watch it sometime. I don't think that I would be interested in watching just for the stunts, because you guys were talking about Michael Bay, and there was a Michael Bay sequel, right? A few the last year, Bad Boys for Life, and considering that it got such good reviews, and I
He
thought
didn't
that it
direct.
was a
Michael Bay
shit.
didn't
He didn't
direct
direct
it,
it.
by the way.
No,
No.
no. I'm saying that it was a sequel to his films,
Right, right.
and so I thought that it was a shit film. I think
It
that the
was.
Bollywood movie War, starring Tiger
Agreed.
Shroff and Hrithik Roshan, was a little
Agreed.
better than Bad Boys for Life. It was just total shit, man. मतलब उसमें कुछ भी हो रहा है, कुछ भी कहीं भी, और पता नहीं लोगों को क्या उसमें इमोशन दिख रहा है, just because it has a little bit of family values attached to Will Smith's character, and that is also bizarre. There is this Mexican woman called Bruja, which means the witch, and he's
Yeah.
in love with that witch, and he whatever, man. So I don't think I'll be invested for Extraction per se.
See, the thing is, this family values thing, the whole formula was perfected by uh, Fast and Furious. Okay. And the way it has taken off, it has no right being the whole multi-billion.
Hold on. It was done before a long time ago,
Of
before the
course, it
Fast and Furious
was.
movies.
Of course, it was.
Yeah, it was done
But
by a
you've
little
got to
movie called
understand
Lethal
who's
Weapon.
watching those movies now. It's not just
Dude, the
you, na?
entire point that they were trying to replicate Lethal Weapon in Bad Boys in the 90s.
Lethal Weapon is absolutely one of the best series out there. I
One and two are
absolutely
only. Yeah.
no. I love the
No, 3 is
this. I
also
don't
quite
care.
good, man. Yeah, Lethal Weapon is
I
Three
love
is also
all those
awesome.
perfect. But the
movies.
first part, the first Lethal Weapon, no, is fucking perfect.
He
Shane
doesn't
Black.
even bother getting rid of his Australian accent. Okay, at that
Yeah.
time, it's so damn good. He doesn't even bother. He's like, no, I'm Australian, but I'm an American, just like Arnold. He had reached that cult status. You understand? And now, well, forget about that.
Hey, they're making another one, do you know, with Richard Donner as well.
They
Even
made a
Danny.
TV series. They
No, no,
made a
no.
TV
That's a
series.
reboot. I'm talking about the original crew coming back for one more movie. Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, and Richard Donner.
With Mel Gibson, I don't know what is
They,
wrong with it. They made a movie recently. I haven't watched it with Sean Penn, the Madman and the Professor. I think.
yeah, something. I did see the trailer. It's a period piece, right? About
I
calculus
think
and
it's.
Yes,
all
I
that.
watched it. I
How's
watched
it?
it. It was a
Oh
giant bore.
fuck!
It was a giant
The
bore.
last great Mel Gibson movie I remember seeing was Ransom, I think. Have you guys
Fuck off.
seen?
Bloodfather. Bloodfather.
I haven't seen Bloodfather.
Have you not watched how I spent my summer vacation?
No, no, I don't think so.
Wait, Payback.
Are the one where he's stuck in
Payback,
the
the payback,
jail,
yeah.
Payback.
Payback.
where he's stuck. Yeah, where he's stuck in the jail and he has to like. It's
Oh, that.
basically a treasure hunt movie in the jail.
Yeah. That. Yeah, he's in a Mexican jail. Yeah, that was amazing.
So Payback, the best thing about Payback is how short it is. It's a short movie,
Straight
but
to the point.
it's a really good story told in that short span. Like it doesn't waste any time anywhere. It's a very crisp script, like the action is very fast, and before you know it, like when I was watching it, ये movie खत्म हो गया. And I had watched that, and I had watched Heat with Val Kilmer and Al Pacino.
But you know,
And it's a good movie, but it's a long, draggy movie.
3.5 hours, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's quite long.
And I compared, maybe it's just because I watched them back to back and I saw that, Payback is just, it's like, everything is happening. And I'm like, this is a great action movie. Like, this is how it should be. Don't waste time dragging and, unnecessary shit.
yeah, one recent movie which was like this, and ironically, it was a Netflix movie, and I think that was the last great Netflix content which I watched was Triple Frontier from last year.
Oh yeah, Triple Frontier was
Oscar
Ben
Isaac,
Affleck, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, and again, coming back to the Ben Affleck appreciation podcast, Ben Affleck does not get enough credit, man. Ben Affleck is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched this movie Town recently.
Oh, that's so good.
What a performance! He's so fucking good, and Triple Frontier is basically how it should be. It looked like an old school. The guy who directed Fury, David Ayer. It's like an old school David Ayer film.
Yeah.
And David Ayer, he has a specific formula to it. Like, you have crooked people, two crooked people or two idolist people trying to fix everything. Frontier, if Extraction is anyway close to what Triple Frontier is, I'll really enjoy the movie. From all, the cynic in me is not excited for Extraction, but I'll definitely watch it the day it comes out. And I will really hope that I'm proved wrong.
I watched
What
The
are we talking
Town.
about next?
I watched The Town a lot of when it was released. I guess it was in 2010 or 12. I was in school back then. I was blown away by that movie.
Yeah, so did I.
And I haven't rewatched
I mean, I
it,
watched
but
it.
I remember about it. It was a damn good movie.
Same here. I think I watched both, not back to back, but quite close to one another. I had heard that Gone Baby Gone was really good. Nobody expected, Ben Affleck to direct such a fantastic movie. And then I remember right after watching that, maybe 2-3 weeks, I heard that The Town was coming out as well. So I was like blown away. I was like, इसके पास भी इतना potential है साला इतना दिन क्या कर
This
रहा था?
was
Then I
when his stock was at the lowest, okay, because he had just done all the jiggly stuff and he was
right
with Jennifer
Garner.
Lopez. Yeah, Lopez.
Lopez.
Garner.
Lopez. No, he
No, I
married her
believe that
after
he was
that.
with
That was.
खत्म हो गया था.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer
but
Lopez is
I'm not
काफी पहले
talking about
Taco
that.
Kisses, South Park.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
dude,
about his talks. I'm talking about his talks. How they were down because of Jennifer Lopez. He was basically a boy toy for Jennifer Lopez, and because of that, his whole image had suffered. I mean, the last thing noteworthy that anybody thought that he did was Good Will Hunting, and that was even then that was not really his movie. So this coming to when Gone Baby uh, uh, it released, then the whole thing it turns on its head, and suddenly people saw that wait, this is not something we are expecting from that guy. From where he was then at his lowest, well, he might still be at his lowest, but that's a different point of view. But where he was in terms of where how people perceived him and where he is now, it's amazing. I mean, he has given us three absolutely brilliant movies that he has directed, and I think there are so many more that he has in him. And
Yeah, but that also being said, he's not a great writer because I also watched his last movie which he directed, Live by Night, which he wrote, directed. Basically, he acted in it as well. It was great directed. He directed really great, well, and the production design was also fantastic. But and acting obviously was also good. However, the script was like really bad. It's really let down by the script, and I think that is something which Ben Affleck should do is do an Eastwood and hire great writers rather than him writing stuff himself. Because
but why should he?
all-
He's an
all
Oscar-winning
his-
screenplay writer.
All his great movies have a co-writer. Either it's Chris Terrio who wrote Argo and one of his other movies, Gone Baby Gone, I think. I'm not really sure. But whenever
Batman v Superman.
yeah, Batman v Superman वो है कुछ नहीं बोल सकता रे उसका who was doing what. That will lead to another podcast. So I'll close the chapter here. So, other than that, I think he needs someone to rein him in. वही प्रॉब्लम है बेन एफ्लेक का. Whenever there's another writer involved, he does some great stuff. I think he's the one who punches it up. Like he's not the one who actually scripts stuff. I think because when he directs, he leaves a lot of room for the improvs for the actors to do. So that is, if you have seen the BTS for Argo, etc., like they have an entire segment on how good his improv skills are. Like not his personally, but how he allows others. So I think that is the issue with him. That's why I'm excited for his next movie, which he's writing with Matt Damon. I plugged it last week
he
again,
he
and
does
Ridley Scott
something
is
which a
directing
lot
it.
of there is a lot of things which Ben Affleck does, which is kind of lost currently in Hollywood. That is, he films in a very 70s way. If you watch a lot of 70s films, so he films the the way he moves the camera around. That is a very 70s way of filming, and also he's very surprisingly good in filming action. Like all of his films, they have like certain action sequences. Like there is a montage there in Live by Night. The first 30 minutes of Live by Night are really great. So there's a montage there which is fucking fantastic, and there is a shootout there as well. Even in Gone Baby Gone and The Town, I think Town has one of the best shootouts I've seen in recent past, of the past decade or so. It is fantastic, and also he was there in one of my favorite movies which no one talks about, and that's Smoking Aces. Has anyone watched Smoking Aces apart from Arindam, of course?
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I watched it when I was in college, I think.
Yeah,
It
yeah. All of us
released at
watched
that
it.
time. Yeah, I
It's
remember I was in Shillong and when it released, and I'd heard about it. I liked uh, I'd not seen the trailer because none of us has access to trailers and all back then. We just went to the video parlor and this guy said, "Why don't we try this movie out?" The first opening scenes and all, it just has that kind of impact on you. It's just so glitzy and catchy and snazzy that you can't take your eyes off it. And
Yeah,
not just that, the casting is so brilliant. The casting is so brilliant. I mean, there's so many stars out there, and at the same time, there's so many. it's actually it's got Ryan Reynolds for fuck's sake, and Ryan Reynolds is not even like one of the. You can't even call him a protagonist
yeah.
for God's
It
sake,
has
right?
Ryan Reynolds, Common, Ben Affleck,
it has
Chris
Chris
Pine,
Pine in one of the almost all-time
weirdest
greatest
roles
cameos.
ever. Yeah,
Yeah,
Alicia Keys,
Who was
and all of
brilliant.
these
was
people.
unrecognizable in that role
Yeah,
almost.
everybody. It's like so freaking good.
This
And
movie was lightning in a bottle. I remember Smoking Aces 2 was so bad, man. It was like
oh
pathetic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched Smoking Aces too just because I love Smoking Aces so much, and then it just
Yeah,
turned out to
Complete
and
be a
disappointment.
I'm
damn
pretty sure if
squid.
you guys have not watched it, Parjania and Hussein, I'm pretty sure you guys will love Smoking Aces. Seek out that movie. I think it was streaming on Netflix till a couple of months ago. And if it's not there anymore, download and watch it. It's fucking brilliant. There is an
It's worth
amazing
your
shootout
time.
scene. I will not tell you where it comes from, but there is an amazing shootout scene which literally comes out of nowhere. Okay, and it is amazing. Just check out Smoking Aces. It's brilliantly done. Like if you guys love movies like Logan Lucky and Ocean's 11 and stuff like that, it is fantastic. Basically, the premise is there is this guy, a Vegas fellow, a gambler, and he has a hit out on him for an unsanctioned amount of money, and 11 different assassins are out to get him before the night, and two FBI agents have to protect him. So these people are all assassins, and Ray Liotta and Ryan Reynolds have to protect Jeremy Piven's character. It is fantastic. It is very well done, and no one really talks about it.
It's the epitome of 2000 school. I think
Yeah,
that culminated in it. From the comments, I see that Sneharko has said that you guys liked. Anyone saw Den of Thieves? He's saying that they paid homage to Heat.
yeah, I
It
have.
it had Gerard Butler and 50 Cent. 50 Cent, so
I
I
have
don't know
not
how
seen
he
it.
lands himself in like good projects with good actors. I'm not sure if he makes great movies, but he does end up in pretty good mo- potential movies.
John Hamm recently, like you mentioned in the comments, John Hamm recently was there in this movie where he has to go out and protect this person or extract a person. It was like something like an Argo. Has anyone seen it?
No. John Hamm is also making some of the most weirdest choices. I'm not sure what happened after Mad Men. He's not getting the good roles at all or something. He's just there in cameos. He was there in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. He was just there for a cameo. He's there in the latest Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he plays a character who's going to play Larry David. So he is doing some weird stuff. I'm not really sure if it's paying off well, but I would like to see
He
him in
needs to
more
be
stuff.
cast as Superman, and his career will fall back on track.
Yeah,
Was his last big one Baby Driver? Last big role was
yeah,
Baby
Yes.
Baby
Driver.
Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was it.
Baby Driver. Yeah, Baby Driver is another weird movie which I, on hindsight, don't like, or not don't like. I just think it's Edgar David's,
Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright's weakest film, because it is just one smart trick which has been extended. It would have been a great short film, but it is overlong and it has nothing special about it apart from that one gimmick. There's the same thing which has happened with 1917. But
It's a great
1917, I did
gimmick.
not like
It's a
right from the
great
get go.
gimmick, man. It's a
It's
great
a
gimmick.
great
Yeah,
gimmick,
it
I know.
pays off really well, and as an
And
audience, you are into it.
yeah,
Baby
and I
Driver.
don't think I agree with you on this one at all. I don't think it was stretched to the limits. It just
Remove the
shows that
gimmick.
he is
Remove
the
the
only one. That's not
hold
the
on, hold
point.
on. Remove the
The
gimmick, and what is the movie?
No,
Remove the
but
gimmick, and
still
what is the movie?
works.
that
It
is
still works.
integral.
That is your
It
point.
has some, yeah. See, again, it has great stunts. It has a good story after all.
I don't think
Uh,
Yeah.
it's a very generic story. I'm
I'll
sorry.
just go in and say like how I watched the movie. It was going to release in India. I think we have to thank Ambarish from Indian for this. We were given two passes from Comic Con, and Aditya Malia from the group and I we went. We It was just a 20-seat theater somewhere in Sitara Studio, and the movie did not have any interval, and we weren't told about it. So that was like just it was a huge screen and there weren't many people watching, and just that experience, I haven't watched it since, but just that experience was so like it's one of my best cinema going experiences till now.
I mean, we have had a podcast on this, by the way. We have
Yeah.
had a discussion on this. And
Baby
Abhishek,
Driver.
you did like it back then.
Yeah, I literally started saying that I have SARD on it. Okay, yes, Parjanya, you were saying.
Baby Driver is, as I like to call it, Grand Theft Auto the movie. If we didn't suck at driving in the game,
Yeah.
like that's literally the entire movie. Like GTA in 1.5 hours, and if we didn't crash, like agar side se chala, that's the entire movie. That's the
It's the
entire
last
plot.
Kevin Spacey movie also. I remember
Yeah,
the movie
definitely.
tanked at the box office because the allegation just came out
Yeah,
the weekend that it released,
yeah, yeah.
and it has Jamie
Has
Foxx. It
Edgar
has
Wright
a
delivered a hit ever?
Edgar Wright, first two movies were hits. I don't think the others made money after that. His new
He has
movie
never had
might
a
because
US
it's
hit. I
a
don't think he has had a US hit.
Not
yeah,
commercially,
No,
no, no. Shaun of the
not
Dead.
like out and out
commercially,
failure.
no.
Yeah, I
Commercially,
really
no.
wish
His
that
movies haven't.
Scott Pilgrim was the
Even,
success that it is now. That
yeah,
movie
Oh,
I
was
that,
mean, a
that,
lot of movies do well better on VOD, and
yeah.
But I
definitely, I
will
think
always respect. I will always respect Edgar Wright despite whatever movie he makes, because he said "fuck you" to Kevin Feige, because he did not want to make the movie, a Marvel movie, a formulaic Marvel movie, whatever this new guy is making.
It will
Why?
make.
Hey, there's one big news breaking that we did not discuss. I think last week we just brought it up. Since we're
Sam
talking about
Raimi.
generic Marvel movies, why don't we talk about Sam Raimi
I
getting
mean,
finally confirmed to direct Multiverse of Madness?
It's going to. It's
see,
fuck's sake, man. See,
Multiverse of Madness is going to
it is
have
a
a very
huge.
good first half, and the second half is going to be shit. The second half is going to be typical MCU. The first half, the setup is going to be good Sam Raimi shit. The second half is going to be whatever Kevin Feige wants it to be.
I had put up a poll in which I asked, is this going to be a Kevin Feige movie or will this be a Sam Raimi movie? So I'll ask you guys again. Let's start with you, Hussein. I know what you voted for, but let's have it in words. Will it be a Kevin Feige movie or will it be a Sam Raimi movie?
I think that I think it will definitely be a Feige movie because considering that Scott Derrickson left because of creative differences, I think that post this Endgame, most of the Marvel movies would be a Kevin Feige vision, and it would be just a single movie again after again and again and again. And I think that he is bringing Sam Raimi just because Sam Raimi is a big name, because he directed the first three Spider-Man movies, and he was quite good at it. And that he is well versed with with the lore of Doctor Strange, and that's that. I think other than that, he won't be Sam Raimi wouldn't be given any free rein to create a vision for this character's path in the MCU.
I'm not sure if the writers have been announced for this because I know that Robert Cargill wrote the script, who also wrote the first Doctor Strange movie and also Sinister. Uh, I hope that if they hire someone else to write, Ivan Raimi is given a fair shot because Ivan plus Sam is what makes the magic happen for the Raimis. So I think he wrote Spider-Man as well with Sam Raimi. And correct me if I'm wrong. But the thing is that I want to believe it won't be a Sam Raimi movie because Taika Waititi has been given all the free rein in the world. If you follow the latest
And how is
Instagram,
that working out for him?
pretty
Did you
good.
see his latest Instagram? He's like, I
Yeah,
don't care about Thor's history. I don't give a shit. I have not read the comics. We were not going to follow. Why? It's called Thor. Why do you want to make it something else? Then call it something else. No, I don't
but
get these things. I don't understand why these characters have to change just because you can't direct
I don't think
or
there has
they
been
don't fit
one
into your style.
exact comic book property that has followed the comic to the T. That just does
Thor
not
one,
happen.
Thor one, Kenneth Branagh. It was like he's a
It's a
Shakespeare guy, and
Shakespearean drama. It didn't work.
yeah, it didn't work, but it was
It
quite
did.
accurate to the comics.
Let's
Thor
not
one was
forget both those things are very different. You want your movies to be based on the comics, but they're a separate business
yeah.
enotities.
Correct.
And at the end of the
I
day,
do
No,
not
it's
so
have
all
a
about
problem if
making
they don't
money.
follow the
I have
source,
no
but they
It's
problem.
all
make.
about
See,
making money,
I
man.
love YT.
See, the
Hold on.
thing.
Let me finish. I love YTT. I love YTT outside Marvel, and I've been a huge fan of him for years. However, when you say things like, I don't give a fuck about the comics, I have not read it, it's a huge slap on the face, not only on the fans, but the creators, people who have spent years and years and years, decades in creating these characters. If you have no respect, this is the major problem we have with DC also, right? But why do we not, why do we keep shitting on Snyder and DC and WB and not on fucking these Marvel cunts?
Yeah.
Because
Because
they
they
make
don't.
watchable movies. That is the
No,
reason why. They
watchable.
have had
Uh,
10 years of
I'm
movies
sorry,
to establish
but
their canon.
Thor
I am okay
Ragnarok
with it.
is a complete deconstruction of everything which
That is
Thor
okay
was.
because I think that's a different canon. Different canons work. In the Ultimates universe, in the comics, when it happens, people shit on it. People's job.
I'm not talking about a different canon. I'm talking about the character not being true to what he has been established in the previous movie. Forget that. In the previous half, Thor, when you watch, when the movie starts, Thor is a completely different guy. At the end of the movie, there is no character arc in Thor Ragnarok. If you watch the movie again, I'm telling you, there is no character arc. There is no learning which goes through. Whatever he learns in Endgame, I'm sorry, whatever he learns in Infinity War is completely reversed
Yeah.
back in Endgame.
Yeah.
There is no character growth at
That's
all from
true.
this guy.
Hold on. We are digressing from the point altogether, which was,
Yeah,
will Sam Raimi, will it be a Sam Raimi movie or a Kevin Feige
it
movie?
will not be a samurai movie. If we think that it's going to
First
be a
of
samurai
all,
movie,
wait, hold on. There are two school of thoughts that, well, there are two chain of thoughts that I'm currently going, uh, experiencing. One, we know we have seen Spider-Man, and I think thematically the whole movie is not that different from what a Marvel movie might feel like thematically. Not, I'm not talking about what it looks like, but what it feels like. You have the comedy elements and the action elements blended perfectly in that sense, right?
yeah, but
And
it also was
that's,
the first.
it also was the first, which is true. I'm saying is that there is certainly enough there for me to believe that they might, the whole vision might be in line with what Marvel wants. But at the same time, this is a guy who has made a lot of very revolutionary stuff. Very revolutionary stuff. I
The guy created
absolutely
the
love.
modern horror movie.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely love Drag Me to Hell. I don't know if anybody If you remember that
Dude, the
movie.
last
Yeah,
movie he
it was a
produced was an
PG-13 movie on
underrated
top of
gem,
that.
Yeah,
Evil
and
Dead.
it was. I really
Evil Dead,
like
Army of Darkness.
Evil Dead is very old school. Let
No. I'm talking about the remake which Sam Raimi produced.
ha. I'm
The
talking about
guy
him
who
directing
directed
it.
Don't Breathe made it.
Yeah, Fede Alvarez.
Freddy
Yeah.
Alvarez, yeah.
So I'm also saying that why because of that he might also have a lot of creative differences about the direction in which we want to take it.
There's
So
something that
my money is on him quitting halfway through.
I
Acha,
fear.
you're saying that it won't happen only.
No, I fear that it won't be a Sam Raimi movie because there's only one outlier. It's Oz the Great and the Powerful. It's a Disney movie that he made. And this will be also technically a Disney movie. And he works well with the studios, man. That's the thing about him. If he wants, he'll make it weird. We'll see those weird, the sweeping camera shots going into the different aspects since the multiverse is involved. I'm interested to see if he brings back Tobey Maguire and if he brings back the original Mysterio. We have to have a Bruce Campbell cameo. That has to happen.
My question is to kind of what Hussain was saying earlier and what Anil was saying right now. Do you think what played more into this decision, the fact that he directed the Spider-Man movies, or the fact that he directed the like Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, and all of that?
Can I take this?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Scott Derrickson is also a director who I have followed since the very first movie because I loved Sinister, not Sinister. I loved the other one which he did, the Possession movie.
Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That was the one with the law versus like science versus thing. They
Yeah.
had both.
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So Scott Derrickson, no, if you look at it, and also he's a huge metal fan. The thing with Scott Derrickson and what he has in common with people like Mike Flanagan, who is currently one of my favorite directors, and Robert Eggers, is that he has a very good idea about what is scary and what is, how to shock people. Something which James Wan lacks, but he makes up with great, jump scares.
Kills.
Now, these guys, they rely both on atmosphere. Both Scott Derrickson and Mike Flanagan. See, you won't see a lot of jump scares in any of the previous horror films. Now, they're getting in Sam Raimi because Multiverse of Madness, like Scott Derrickson said, is going to be a horror film. So they need someone who understands horror best. And how about if you don't get John Carpenter, if you don't get like the greatest horror director who's ever lived, get the second best, and that is fucking Sam Raimi. So that is there. However, Feige is also existing, and Feige, if people like Scott Derrickson who have and people like Peyton Reed who have already worked inside that Disney setup for such a long time, and now they are saying like creative differences. Just imagine how much his influence is currently. And I don't think someone with a huge ego like a Sam Raimi will take this nonsense. He will be like, I want to do this, and he'll probably refuse, and he'll be like, do this for kids. And then he'll be like, okay, fuck you, ma chuda, mein ja raha hai. And I don't,
So
yeah,
even you are on the same page as me.
yeah.
That midway, this is going to he's going to
Yeah.
leave midway.
Yeah.
He should take money on that. We should take bets on that. I think.
Okay, so I would like to know even in the comments, does Sam Raimi quit Midway? Okay, for the rest of you, Hussain, I don't think you have said about this.
No, he has. He was the first
Oh,
one to say about this.
oh right, right. Anyone else left? Otherwise, we can go.
Man.
भाई तुम्हारी मेमोरी सच में बहुत खराब है.
डॉक्टर
क्या
साहब
कर
नहीं दे
रहे
रहे
हो?
कोई इसको memory.
Badam do badam, badam gao, badam.
Yes, recall. Okay, so do we have anything else to talk, or can we move on to our final segment?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay, so if you're in our Facebook group, you know that we have FG quiz that we had on every day. Uh, it happened maybe 6 months ago, in which we did a 30-day trial. Then there was many disadvantages, like internet connection acha hona tha. You had to be the first one to comment. Some people, like when it loaded automatically, the problem was that it loaded with the comments already on. So to level the playing fields, we thought that we'd organize it live, and also yeah, there were complaints of people googling stuff. So maybe this time we'll have it in a way, this is just a trial run, of course, with the panelists themselves competing. I'll be the quiz master. Uh, we can,
Thank the fuck Lord it's a trial because I'm going to do it too early. And
yeah, it's a
don't mind.
trial. So I'll just explain the rules quickly. What happens here is that I can't see Abhishek's screen. Okay,
क्या बोल
so
रहे हैं?
मैं font
use
check कर रहा font check कर रहा
you have to use larger fonts. Okay, what will happen now is I'll just explain the rules. So I will be asking 10 questions. Uh, in the chat, I implore you, please do not answer any questions. More than that, I would request everyone over here not to check the comments in case someone is writing the answers. For that, maybe I'll have to. No, I don't think I can disable the chat here.
Don't. I mean,
So I'm
everyone
just
is a
going
grown
to
up here. Let's not cheat. That's
Yeah.
it.
like say I'm just
Yeah,
going
just
to
don't
plug
cheat.
something.
Yeah.
On my phone, so I have wait, my background is sort of playing up. So I have my own live sessions projects, and we have an artist on right now. So whoever wants to watch live music, they can go to Living Room Sessions IL, and
Yeah, only after this podcast is done, by the way, then go to living
of
room.
course,
Okay,
He
so
is
I'll
right.
just explain the rules quickly. I'll read out a question. You guys have 10 seconds to answer it. Do not say it out loud. You write it down. I'll say pens down. So, pens down, and you show your answer to the camera. And when I read out your name, just read it out. What your answer is. Based on that, you will be
Okay,
given 1 point.
always the thing is I don't think you can see anything on my screen because I don't have a pen.
Of course. Of course.
अच्छा लैपटॉप नहीं होना I can understand. पेन क्यों नहीं है तेरे पास?
कहाँ में डाल रहा है इन चीजों को? Yeah, all pointy things must go in somewhere.
For Abhishek, there's something that you can do. You can write it on your screen and just, when the moment comes, you can share your screen.
Yeah.
If
Do it
that
on the
isn't
screen.
complicated enough, otherwise just write down the
Hold on,
answer.
I use a tab. I don't use a thing. I can't share my screen. I don't have these facilities.
Okay.
You can't share your screen.
I will figure it out. You guys write. I'll do it on Instagram. You do it. I have a way.
Not on
No.
Instagram, maybe write down the answer on the YouTube chat. That will also do.
No, idiot. I will. तुम करो ना मैं दिखाएगा तुमको.
Go करो go.
Okay. Insta story.
Aha, the genius has an idea. Let's just continue.
Okay, ठीक है. So first question, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hussain,
Yeah.
ready क्या? I can't.
अरे हाँ रेडी है भाई करो ना तुम.
Ready,
मेरा दिख रहा
ready,
है
ready.
you can see
तुम्हारा
my
दिख रहा है?
video because I cannot.
हाँ, I
cannot,
can.
क्या दिखा रहे हो?
आज एकदम एक के बाद एक हुसैन
अरे बेंड ओवर हो रहा है फिर दिखा रहा है. इसके पास पेन नहीं है. क्या चल रहा है मतलब?
Okay, chalo, let's start without wasting any time. The first question. Who is the lead actor of the 2010 comedy film Easy A? Time starts
What?
now.
Wait. You आवाज चला गया.
Yeah, repeat.
Who is the lead actor of the 2010 comedy Easy A?
You want a female or a male?
Lead actor, female.
Okay. Done.
Done.
Let it run. Okay, pens down. Answer दिखा. Yeah, correct. Okay, everyone gets a point. See, easy करने में यही problem है. ठीक है.
तुम
Second question. Let me write down the points also. नहीं तो सारा तुम लोग. Okay.
Yeah, answers will not disappear, no?
Yeah, the answer is Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Second
You
is
should
who?
have said actress.
Please, I am not a sexist. Hey,
Sexist.
sexist. Actor बोलते हैं इसको, lead actor
मैं
बोला.
जज्बाती रेडी के.
Okay, second. Who played the role of King Jaffe Joffer, the father of Eddie Murphy's character Prince Akeem in the 1988 film Coming to America?
Fuck.
Your time starts now.
Oh man.
I'll pass on that one. I don't know.
Okay.
ची sexist.
Time is up. Time is up. Pens down.
Arey, I didn't
Go.
write anything. Didn't write anything.
Only Abhishek got it. The answer is James Earl Jones. Classic, guys.
हो तभी तभी पता है ना, बाकी तो भाड़ में जाए.
I watch all movies.
Okay.
Hussain is sexist and racist. That means
UP representing.
Okay, question number 3. Jack Burton is the lead in this 1986 John Carpenter flick. Name the movie. And your time starts now. Jack Burton is the lead in this 1986 John Carpenter flick. What is the name of the movie? And the time is up. Pens down. दिखाओ answer.
नहीं पता.
Random. गलत answer.
क्या लिखा अनिल? I can't see.
The Thing.
your
No,
background
it's-
is coming away.
Yeah, it's Big Trouble in Little China. Abhishek gets the
I
point
got the
again.
point. Give it to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, number 4. In which movie does Christopher Plummer play Captain Von Trapp, the patriarch of the Von Trapp family? Time starts now.
हो गया भाई. हुसैन ये तो मालूम होना चाहिए तेरे को गवार.
अरे I can't remember the name of the movie, man. अभी तो आया था.
डूब जाओ वेंचर.
And pens down. दिखाओ, answer दिखाओ.
अरे I forgot.
Sound of music.
Sound of music.
Sound of music. Sound of music. Except for Anil. Everyone
अभी
gets
तो
a
आया
point.
था.
अभी आया था अनिल के लिए.
अरे मैंने देखा अभी.
Okay. Question number 5. The actor plays the role of Barry Judd, a record store salesman in the year 2000 rom-com High Fidelity. High Fidelity में which actor plays the role of Barry Judd? High Fidelity
No.
actor.
Yes, yes.
No idea.
Nope. No idea.
No one gets the point. The answer is Jack Black.
Oh, Jack Black. Man, sure.
Shit. Oh.
Fuck.
अभी दो ही आंसर है, जॉन क्यूसैक और जैक ब्लैक. लिखो.
अरे no, I remembered his band name. Yeah.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Yeah.
Next question. Which actor plays a high school social studies teacher who tries to stop Reese Witherspoon's character from becoming the class president in the movie Election?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Time starts
I
now.
couldn't.
He's the other.
The hint. Anyone knows the answer or needs a hint?
Yes, I
अरे
know.
नाम याद नहीं आ रहा. I know the guy who the guy is.
Okay. Pens down.
अरे wait, I'm just try to start to type here.
No. दिखाओ. You can
Can
say
I-
it
can I-
out.
okay, can I
Nobody-
say it? Can I say
Yeah.
it? Matthew Broderick.
Fuck off. You
You
can.
can see it.
Yeah.
इधर में दूसरा स्क्रीन में दिख रहा है.
हाँ.
answer, literally.
अरे
See.
मेरे पास स्क्रीन है भाई.
उनको आंखें तो है, बटन तो है.
अबे this is all I'm seeing.
I don't know. I thought थोड़ा controversial.
Matthew Broderick is not the correct answer. I don't get it.
Yeah. It
He
is,
is
but
the correct.
yeah, controversial ways because we saw the screen light up.
अरे I type it like this.
Okay. ठीक है, I'll give it to you because we have an understanding that everyone will be fair.
Yeah.
I am fair. I am
Okay.
being fair.
Next, which I expect everyone to know, name the hotel where Stanley Kubrick's The Shining takes place.
हाँ. Done.
नहीं पता. हॉरर देख के डांट फटती है. देखा नहीं है शाइनिंग.
छी. कल्चर है भाई, कल्चर है.
आपने को कुछ नहीं पता.
Okay.
हॉरर देख डांट फटती है. देखता नहीं मैं.
Time's up. Answer. So, बस Abhishek and Hussain. Overlook. Yeah. So only Abhishek and Hussain get the point.
ये हुसैन तेरा हैंडराइटिंग सच में डॉक्टर वाला है.
अरे उंगली से टाइप कर रहा हूँ भाई, उंगली से.
तो मैं क्या चीज से टाइप करता हूँ?
God knows.
हम दोनों बैठे हैं वहाँ पे.
Next question. Name the cat in the 1979 sci-fi horror flick Alien?
Mm,
I can't remember.
mm, no idea.
No one.
I knew it. I can't
No
remember.
one.
Who cares? I'll just write some random name.
No, no.
Shame on you guys. It's
Yeah.
Jonesy.
Ah,
Jonesy.
मैं
I was
गुल्लू लिख रहा था
close.
वही दिमाग में आया.
सबको
I was close. I wrote body.
Okay. Next
Not really.
question. Name the lion in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Name the lion in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And
done.
3, 2, 1. Yeah, दिखाओ.
Aslan.
Okay, Parjanya, Abhishek, and Hussain.
As
भाई
expected.
अनिर आपको क्या मिला है फिर कितना पॉइंट है आपको कुछ मिला है.
एक point है मेरे पास. I'm really bad at this.
Last question.
Okay, and the last question. The character Marion Crane is featured in which Hitchcock movie? The character of
Marion Crane.
Marion Crane in which
Easy.
Hitchcock movie? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. दिखाओ screen.
Running out of time. Yes.
Yep. Arjanya, Abhishek, and Hussein grab it. I think Abhishek leads this.
Oh no, I lead this from the bottom.
Okay, and that's the first ever FG quiz held live. We have had next wale se, bring your pens. Hopefully, I think
No,
we'll-
I'll
Mine
use
is
it. This
working,
system
no?
is great for me. This system is great.
Actually, I have to show you guys something.
My
yeah.
He said bring a
Whiteboard.
whiteboard. It's so huge that
Same.
there was no way to prop it up or do anything with it. So it's just
अरे
sitting
जो
there.
वो लंबा वाला broom होता है ना, prop it up against your bed and just stay there. अगर आंसर है तो directly लिख दो. Okay, I think that's it. Abhishek leads. Maybe next week I'll think of
What is
something.
the? Tell the points, no, first.
Yeah.
Yes,
Abhishek gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Parjanya gets 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Anir gets 1 point. Hussain gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So Abhishek leading by 7, Hussain 5, Parjanya 4, Anir 1.
Nice.
आज का FG quiz यहीं पे समाप्त. Let us know in the comments if you like this. Other than that, Abhishek, take it away.
Yeah, and if you would want to be a part of this as well, we will eventually make you a part of it. But if you would want to be a part of it, please let us know in the comment section or on the group. So these guys will read it and let me know, and we will work something out. That being said, thank you very much for watching. How many people are watching right now?
There are 2 concurrent viewers.
Amazing.
That went long. I think people came and went.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and both of you, whoever you guys are, thank you very much for sticking around. And we'll see you again on the next episode where we will be reviewing what
Extraction.
the fuck will we be reviewing Extraction. Yes, we will be checking out Extraction and probably
We-
any other
we-
shows that we might be watching. So see you.